Hello students, welcome you all in this revision class. Today I am starting revision of History chapter 1, How, When and Where. Student, as in my chapter 2 video when I was teaching you chapter 2 from trade to territory, at that time also I told you that whenever you are learning history, don't take it as a you are learning some subject, you are learning some theory or like this. Take it as a story. Right? History is always telling you about past. Right? That time also I told you that history, you are learning history, take it as a story. So history is nothing but all these events which happen in past. So here in this form 8, you are learning British rule in India, British history in India, how British rule in India. Right, if we talk about Indian politics, Indian history, we can divide all this Indian ruling history in these three. You are also learning in this periodization only. Suppose if we talk about Form 6, what you learn in Form 6? All about ancient rulers. Who were the rulers? What were their policies? How they rule? Most of the Hindu rulers were there. Gupta dynasty, King Ashoka, you learn about their policies and all. Then last year, I mean in Form 7. In Form 7 you learn about after ancient period over. Right? Gupta dynasty, Ashoka, and then they decline in rulers from Mongols. They started coming to India and they established their rule. First Delhi Sultanate and then Mughal Empire. 1000 around 1000 years they rule. Then last you learn about how Britishers and other European companies they came to India for trading and gradually they started taking territories, right? So this year in Form 8 you are learning about British period, British rule in India. And before we proceed further, actually this is revision, so I am taking first chapter, but in my second chapter video lesson also I explain you how Britishers came, why they came, right? And here in the initial stage they have given importance of date, right? Many times when children have to learn history, they always thinking that in history we have to learn so many dates, and because of this thing they find history is boring, but actually it is not only date, right? History is not about only dates, but history is about the past experience, past incidents, past events, right? So chapter 1 we are starting how, when and where. So let us see the topics. First topic is how important are dates. See children, in each and everyone's life dates are very important. Suppose if I talk about my life, my birthday, my parents' birthdays, my parents' marriage anniversaries. Suppose when I joined Rajkumar College, right? That date is very important. So most important events in our life, right? We can associate it with them some dates, and through that dates we remember that yes, on 16th December this event happened. On 30th April my birthday is there, right? Suppose same is with your life also, right? Suppose if I'll tell you about your history, then till all this were from 1 to from 7 you pass through so many events, incident, right? When tomorrow after 1 or 2 months when school will start, and then you all will meet your friends, then you will discuss about this lockdown period, that how was that period, how we pass this, how we attend the online classes, live classes, how ma'am or teachers and sirs were teaching us, how we have completed. So this period will become history for you, right? So see, any particular dates are there if some incident occurred on that particular day. Otherwise there are notion of times, part of time, part of year, part of month in incidents happen, right? So here they are talking about that only in first paragraph. I am just reading main points. There was a time when historians were fascinated with dates. There were heated debate about the dates on which rulers were crowned or battles were fought. In this common sense notion, history was synonymous with dates. No doubt, right? I am not telling that in history you don't need to give importance to dates. Most of the events have a particular date or year that we have to remember. But not only particular date, but notion of time is also important. You may have heard people say that I find history boring because it's full of memorizing date, but it is not only a true things about history. Let me explain you that history is about your past experience, past events. History is certainly about changes that occur over time. It is about finding out how things were in past, right? Suppose at present what you are doing, right? The same thing how it was in past, and gradual changes, after gradual changes, now what are you having? Suppose I give you example of your notebook, right? At present you are writing in very nice binding book, but previously if we think about the past, then students, children, they were using loose sheet, and before that also what was the history? They were writing on the leaf. So gradually paper invented, then binding, then that plain paper, then ruled paper. In this way, gradually, so each and everything has its own history, right? So as soon as we compare the past with the present, we refer to time. We talk about before and after, right? Most of the time, before we were doing this, after this event, we are doing like this. Living in the world, we do not always ask historical questions about what we see around us, right? Many times we are taking, suppose notebook, pen, pencil, whatever we are using, we are taking it for granted, as if what we see has always been in world we inhabited, where we are living. Pen, ball pen, notebook. This is was few example. But in our life, daily life, we are using thousands of product, thousands of things we are passing through, but we are taking, because it is our thinking, we are taking it for granted, and we thought that it would be like this only. But most of us have our moment of wonder when we are curious. That curiosity is bring that history, in history, that how this thing would be there, and we ask questions that actually are historical. Watching someone sip a cup of tea. But cup of tea, who started first having tea? In China or in India? In India, who started? So this curiosity will bring history to your mind, right? Looking out of the window of a train, and you may ask yourself, when were railway built? And how did people travel long distance? Who thought about that, making railway, making so many coaches, joining one engine, and then this will reach to the different destinations? Who thought about? Then science come in picture, right? So that idea should be there, and that curiosity, that thinking will make us to understand the history about anything, right? Here, along with this importance of dates and notion of time, they have given some important incidents also. Here you can see a picture. Here, focus on this picture. Yes, here you can see Brahman. One Brahman, he is giving some Brahmanas, group of Brahmanas, and one Brahman is giving some literature, Shastra, books, giving to Britannia. Now, see the description. Rennell was a cartographer. Rennell was asked by Robert Clive to produce maps of Hindustan. And at that time, what was the situation? According to his understanding, he made this picture. An enthusiastic supporter of British conquest of India, Rennell saw preparation of maps as essential to the process of domination. Suppose actually Robert Clive, after Robert Clive, they started domination of Indian territories, right? If you remember that chapter 2, what I explained at that time, that Battle of Plassey occurred between Robert Clive and Sirajuddola, and then gradually they started domination of the territories. So he thought that if we want to dominate something, maps are essential. The picture here tries to suggest that Indians willingly gave over their ancient text to Britannia. Britannia, the symbol of British power, as if asking her to become the protector of Indian culture. Right? Actually, we were also under the pressure of Britishers, and then accepting that yes, Britishers are superior and they will protect our culture. All such historical questions refer us back to notions of time. See, here important part is not only important date or year, particular date or year, but notions of time. But time does not have to be always precisely dated in time of particular year or month. Right? We cannot say that on a one very fine day, Indian people started having tea. On 16 July, people started having tea. 16 July 1920. Right? So it is a gradual invention, gradual starting of any event. Here they have given the same example. In India, did not begin drinking tea one fine day. They develop a taste for it over a time. Maybe first time they tested it, they did not like it. Then they put some changes in it, and then gradually they started liking it. There can be no one clear date for a process such as this. Similarly, we cannot fix one single date on which British rule was established. Right? No doubt, Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, they are marked as a British victory, but not a particular date that on 16th December 1757 this occurred. Right? Tipu Sultan died, and then all of a sudden, gradually they took territories. So we cannot fix a single date on which British rule was established. Or the national movement started, no doubt, after 1857. You must have heard about, and then you will learn in this book also. 1857, and then other national movement, Quit India movement, so many movements happen. So it was also not a particular date. Then people, all of a sudden, that national spirit arise in Indian people, and they started fighting against Britishers. So these all are, we can associate the notion of time. All these things happen over a stretch of time, notions of time. We can only refer to a span of time, an approximate period over which particular changes become visible. Then, why then do we continue to associate history with string of dates? Right? To give some important, some special reason to particular dates, so we are associating with a string of dates. This association has a reason. There was a time when history was an account of battle and big events. Right? There was a time, not only this British ruler, before that also. Because all these battles, big events happen according to that particular date. And then their dates are important. It was about rulers and their policies. Historians wrote about the year a king was crowned. When King Ashoka became the ruler, that date is important. The year he married, the year he had a child, the year he fought a particular war, the year he died. So, as a ruler is a very important person for the country, and country people will learn that particular dates. For events such as these, specific dates can be determined, and in history, such as this, debates about dates continue to be important. Means to give importance to which date. Suppose, as I gave my example, that for me, from my history, which dates are important? My birth date, my parents' birth dates, right? Any important incidents happen with me, right? So that dates I will give important. I'll give important, then I'll keep remembering that date, and in this way, these types of dates will be important for me. Suppose if we are learning Indian history, then what are the important events happen in Indian history? Mughal Empire decline, British came as a trader, Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar. So these are important events. So we are associated a string of dates with important events, right? When our focus is on particular event, then that event's date will be important. Here they have given very nice example here. You can see here one advertisement of Lipton tea. Right? It is very old advertisement. Now see the description. Figure 2 advertisement help create taste. Now old advertisement help us understand how markets for new product were created and new tastes were popularized. This 1922 advertisement for Lipton tea suggests that royalty all over the world is associated with this tea. Lipton tea, Lipton is a brand, right? They were telling that Lipton tea, if you are taking Lipton tea, means you are showing your royalty. In this background, you see the outer wall of an Indian palace, right? Here, outer wall of Indian palace, and here, third son of Queen Victoria. Means they are showing the mark. They are showing that in Queen Victoria, third son, Prince Arthur, ruling over India. So in front of this gate, he's standing and he's showing royalty. So, and this is shown, this type of thing, this type of attitude you can show by taking Lipton tea. Now again, as I told you that which dates are important. Next topic is, by what criteria do we choose a set of dates? These are important. The date we select, the date around which we compose our story of the past. Suppose if I want to write about my Form 7th incidents, so I will choose some important events of my Form 7th, how it was, when I started studying, how I celebrated when I was in Form 7, how I celebrated my birthday, what important incidents happen, right? Now you will, suppose if I talk about you people, right, you will, lifetime you will remember that because of corona you all got promotion, right? So this will become history. Each and every time when exam time will come, then you remember, yeah, right? You all have given one paper. I think first paper you have given computer, and then all of a sudden that lockdown started. So this incident, this event will become history and important for you. So the date we select, the dates around which we compose our story of the past are not important on their own. They become vital because we focus on particular set of event as important. Right? As I just gave you example of your Form 7, some particular events are important. And you focus on these particular dates, and then this date would be important, and then you will keep in mind these dates. If our focus of study changes, if we begin to look at new issues, a new set of dates will appear significant. Now, suppose till the time you are giving importance and focus on Form 7th incident, so all these dates will be important for you. Now this year you will start studying Form 8, then again school will reopen, again new incidents happen, again your birthday will come, you will celebrate some other way. So next year, in future, you will give importance to your Form 8 this year 2021. Then you tend to forget Form 7 date, means 1920 dates, and then you remember this year's dates. So when your focus will be there, you remember those dates. Consider an example. Here they have given, because you are learning in history, so they have given example. Consider an example in the history written by British historian in India. The rule of each governor general was important because at that time, after British Empire, British rule established in India, they started appointed governor general. So the rule of each governor general was important, their policies were important. So these histories begin with the rule of first governor general. You can underline, student, the first governor general, Warren Hastings, and ended with the last viceroy. Why they changed the position governor general to viceroy, you will learn in coming chapter. Then they changed the position, and then they started appointing viceroy. Last viceroy, Lord Mountbatten. In separate chapters, you will read about their deeds in detail. See, here they have given Warren Hastings, Wellesley, Bentinck, Dalhousie, Canning, Lawrence, Lytton, Ripon, Curzon, Harding, Irwin. It was seemingly never-ending succession of governor general and viceroys. All the dates in these history books were linked to these personalities because they were ruling. They've established some policies, rules, regulations, and how they established British rule here, how they expand British rule, what type of policies they adopted here, what type of exploitative policy, I will say, they adopted here. So gradually, so many dates associated with this name to their activities, policies, achievement. It was as if there was nothing outside their lives that was important for us to know. The chronology of their lives mark the different chapters of the history of British India. As this is the first chapter, we can say introductory chapter. They started with the importance of dates, importance of history, importance of events in our life, and then they are focusing now on British history in India. How they started ruling, who were the viceroy, governor generals, and how they started ruling. Can we not write about the history of this period in a different way? How do we focus on the activities of different groups and classes in Indian society within the format of history of the governor generals? Right? So, suppose if we think on the point of view of the governor general, so you will find some important dates. But suppose if you think on the point of view of the Indian people, they were inferior, they were exploited. So their point of view, their focus, that is also important. So you can write, you can think on both the way, and then your dates, string of dates will be changed. Here you can see the picture of Warren Hastings. Warren Hastings became the first Governor General of India in 1773, right? So now he became first Governor General, so name is important, and along with him, date is also important. While history book narrated the deeds of Governor Generals, biographies glorify them as a person and painting projected them as a powerful figure. You can see this is the painting, right? How glorify and how powerful picture, a powerful personality is showing himself, because he was first Governor General of India appointed by British. So in this way people focus on particular events, particular date, and then they started learning some dates. So till that time you are learning that which dates are, how dates are important, which dates are important, and why you need to keep in mind the dates, or we can say notion of time. Okay, in next class we will do the different other topic, how do we periodize, and what is colonial government. You are learning about colonial, so you need to understand, and their administration procedures and their records and all. So still 3-4 topics are there. So students, hope you understand. I just revise all the topic. Already you have learned this chapter in YouTube lesson also, but still there was a time and your unit test is approaching. So I thought that let me make a video on the as a revision. So you will able to revise also, and referring this video you will get to know about more important points also. Right? So we'll meet again in next video related to this chapter, revision of this chapter. Okay student, goodbye. Have a fantastic day.